So you
I'm
done started out
sorry.
all wrong.
You bringing. I ain't started out all wrong. I run things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
If you really want me to mess it up, beat me up. That's what you do. I'm gonna bully you if you keep it up.
I got somebody that can beat you up.
Bro, let me tell you this. I'm Ernest the Cat Miller.
Mm-hmm.
3-time world karate champion.
That's
Hold
what
up,
you've
wait a
been
minute.
saying
Wait
to
a
me since
minute.
I've known you.
You gonna listen to me or you gonna talk over me?
I'm listening.
I'm Ernest the Cat Miller. 3-time world karate champion. Kickboxing, judo. I fought everything you can fight in. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And I conquered it all. I didn't just, when I fell down, I didn't just get up. I rose up, baby.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a little investigative homework on you.
Okay,
it ain't all you cracked it up to be. So
people like you always like to take something and take somebody and break them down so you can feel bigger. See, you need to listen, you like Chris Canyon. We need to get you to see some kind of therapist or something. Somebody to help work you.
Let me see if I can jog you. Let me see if I can jog your memory.
No, you don't need to jog. We don't need
Cody,
to jog.
if you will, can you bring something up for me?
Oh, yeah. We're Recite. Of course we offer all-inclusive site work. We're Recite. Of course we have a dynamic site crew. We're Recite. We have secure foundations. We're Recite. Of course we're good stewards. Recite redefines the way site work is done. Contact us at recite.com. It's re-site.com.
Can you bring something up for me, Cody? Do you remember any of this?
Oh yeah, I won this. That what
Did
the
you
hell
win
you
this
talking
one?
about? Yeah. You look at it. That's me in the black and white. What are you talking about? That's me in the black and white with the
This must
Paul
not be
Mitchell
the clip I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one where he beats your ass.
Now
look like he's beating your ass right there to me.
Let me tell you about this guy though. This guy is a tough, you know what? And he beat me 1 out of 3 times. But he was the only guy to beat. Man, listen, this guy was so mean that we didn't speak to each other for years. For years, we didn't speak to each other. And I had a little bad temper. I was a little angry. Yeah, I was a little angry kid. Look at that boy.
Look at you. Look like you're on the ground getting your ass whooped.
This tournament fighting, you don't understand tournament fighting. It's who scored first, standing up. How was that? Did you see what I did? Did you see that kick, the cartwheel kick?
I seen that. Looked like you did a cartwheel in there.
And if the referee don't score, don't point, he didn't score not one time. But look at it. He's still in there. I give it to him. This guy right here, he's standing in there with probably the meanest guy in the damn business. The meanest guy. Listen, bro. They didn't look at that. Well, look at that right hand. Look at that. Oh my goodness, Jerry, where are you?
Don't do my man like that. He's Cincinnati, baby. Skyline Chili.
You know what, Coach? Get whoever you gonna bring on. Get him.
Bring on Jerry. I want Jerry's perspective on this deal. He's waited long enough.
Hey,
hello, Mr. Jerry. Welcome to the Cat's Corner podcast.
Jerry,
Mr. Miller, how we doing, sir?
Hey, Mr. Jerry. Us,
how we doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Let me tell you something about this guy, Ray. This guy right here. We used to see each other at these karate tournaments, and I knew when I would see him, I said, this is going to be a hard one. Because back then, I was so arrogant and cocky, I said, nobody can beat me. Nobody can beat me. And let alone a white boy.
Hey, now.
I'm just saying.
Jerry.
Come on.
Listen. Hey, Jerry,
don't go there.
Jerry, I'm being honest.
He stays there, Jerry.
I said I'll never lose to nobody, but I never lose to one of those. And guess what? I lost to one.
Jerry got
and you changed this guy changed my whole thinking of life. You got to be prepared for anybody. Don't just pick out one person and say, I will never lose to them. Because when I lost to this guy, I went home and I was too embarrassed to go to the karate school. I had to go work out behind my house in the alley because they ain't want nobody to see me no more. I couldn't even make eye contact with anybody because I felt like a real loser. Hey man, I took my gloves off, I threw them on the ground. I was about to fight the referee, and this dude just stood over there with his eyes, just like not afraid. I just remember looking across the ring at him, and he did not look like he was upset. He did not look like he was sad, scared. He just looked like he was just he was standing on business. You don't see guys like that. You don't see guys like that, man. And then, now let me tell you,
how's the world been treating you, Mr. Roberts? How's everything going?
Everything's going really well. School's doing well.
Hold up, Jerry. Big Ray, don't you ever cut me off like that when I'm telling the story, Big Ray. Don't you ever cut me off like that when I'm telling the story. Jared knows.
It was the break in the action.
Jared know what I'm doing. Jared know what I'm leading to. This is one of the best guys you ever met right here. Because after we stopped fighting, we became friends and with mutual respect for each other. And then I got to sit down and watch him just kill people. And I was lucky to beat this guy. And now this is one of my best friends. So, so Jerry, so what have you been up to?
Just working. I work for the airlines. Plus, I own a karate school. Been doing that for 45 years now.
Now Jerry, go ahead.
Still coaching. I got kids that fight all the time. I got my son. He's won a couple world titles. He's a pretty rough kid. He's out there still doing it, contributing.
Hey, Jerry, your son is the picture of you. I didn't even know he was your son.
Everyone says the same thing.
I saw that Robert on his shirt, man, and he was hitting people with the reverse. Can you describe to the fans, those who don't know like Ray, what's a reverse punch?
Well, first of all, it's probably the single most important technique, I think, in what we do, the sport karate aspect, and really even in a fight or in boxing, you're going to use those hands. And the reverse punch, I feel that it's undersold on the tournament scene. It's not flashy, but I can sit in a damn chair and throw a reverse punch. I don't need to be flexible. I don't need to be fast. I just need to have a good, clean technique. And you can hit anybody with it. Anybody. There wasn't, in my mind, when I competed with Ernest and the other guys out there, I didn't feel there was a guy out there that I could not hit with the reverse punch. I'm not saying I could beat them all, but I can hit them all.
Hey, and let me tell you this, Big Ray, let me tell you about it. That reverse punch hurt. And most of the time to the body, when you stretch out and your muscle tighten up, he hit you with that reverse punch. And I'm telling you, my life left my body for a little while.
Well, what is the reverse punch? Show me your technique. What is it?
Well, it's just like a boxer's right cross.
Okay, so it's a right cross.
Yep. I'm left-handed, so for me, it's the left cross.
Different. Yeah, it was different.
And a karate guy throws it more from his hip than from his shoulder. Like a boxer will throw it from his shoulder. Karate guys throw it traditionally will throw it from their hip out and snap it out and back.
But why do they throw it like that, man? I mean, for me, with my front hand up, distract the guy, and I usually hit guys when they overextend like technique. When they do a spinning kick and they go around just a little too far, they are always open for my reverse punch. What did you look for?
Mine was always the back fist. If you threw a back fist at that front hand, if that elbow came away from your rib cage, I saw gold. Because if you could hit somebody with a good reverse punch, my father always said, you punch somebody in the face and you piss them off. You punch somebody in the stomach, you take their soul out, they quit. So my goal is always to hit that body shot. I lost to a lot of guys that would throw that flip back fist, barely touch it with it, and I would cripple them with the reverse punch, but I would still lose. But afterwards, that was what was important to me. Afterwards, I stood across from that guy. If they could look me in the eye, they knew they were in a fight.
And this is what's so funny, Ray. This guy was knocking people. One tournament, I promise, he looked like he knocked like 2 or 3 guys out with that punch. He was just knocking them down with that one punch. And I used to say, listen, yeah, that's what, listen, I used to say, Jerry, I used to watch you and you didn't do much. I was like, what the heck is this? I didn't see a lot of kicks. I didn't see but that one punch. And I said, you know what? I heard Bruce Lee say, a man who got 3,000 weapons, right? Got 3,000 weapons to practice. But that man who got one and practiced that one 3,000 times is an expert. Man, more than an expert.
I could throw all those. I could throw your cartwheel kick.
Oh, ridge hand.
Yeah. I could throw ridge hands, hammer fists. But there's something about the reverse punch for me. It's, the true meaning of martial arts for me is a good reverse punch. You can't replace that with anything else. And everybody out there that's been hit with it, by not just mine, by yours, by Richard Plowden's, by anybody's, that's automatic respect. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking, I mean, again, you want to win every time you go out, but nobody wins every time. But every time I want to finish that fight, look across at my opponent and know that he respects me or respect what I got.
Well, hey, you beat it into me, because I'm not gonna lie. I've never
had some great battles
like that. Listen,
we had some great battles.
When you hit me with that punch, and I remember Marcel, who's gonna be on the show pretty soon, but Marcel was like, Ernest, don't get hit by his reverse punch. Don't get hit by his reverse punch. So I went in bouncing around. I said, listen, my eyes was on your reverse punch, just like this. See my eyes? My eyeballs was on your reverse punch. I said, there's no way I'm going to get hit by that thing. Next thing you know, I did something and I got hit by that thing. And I tried to go back to the corner and my leg said, you need to sit down for a minute. I sat down and I was like, oh man, I told Marcel, I said, did you see it? He said, he's good, man. He's good with the reverse punch. But how long have you been taking karate and how did you get into it?
I started karate when I was 20. I played, all kinds of sports in high school, football, basketball, baseball, ran track. Got a scholarship to go to college for basketball. Started karate. Actually, I was 20 years old. And my best friend at the time, his name was John Smith. That's no lie. That was his real name. We had a bet. I don't even remember the bet. But if the bet was, if I lost the bet, I had to go to his karate class. And if he lost the bet, he had to go to my boxing gym. And we had to take a sparring class from either class. Well, I lost the bet. I don't remember what the bet was about. And I went to a sparring class. And, I was a pretty rough kid. We got in a lot of fights when I was a kid. I got, 5 brothers and sisters. My father boxed in the Army, so we all boxed as kids. Lived in the country on a farm. So we were always, it seemed like we were fighting somebody every day out in the bean fields or wherever. But I lost the bet and I went to a sparring class. And the very first class, I hadn't ever sparred before. I had got the crap kicked out of me by a little 140-pound guy. Every time he would pick that leg up, I would reach for the leg and he'd kick me in the face. Mm-hmm. Well, even then, at that time, I didn't want to be disrespectful. And I said, man, what are the rules here? This guy's kicking me in the face. He said, well, there's no hitting. The instructor at the time, he said, there's no hitting in the face. I'm like, okay, well, he just kicked me in my face. He's like, yeah, he's not supposed to. So we line back up. Again, he kicks me in the face again. So I looked at the instructor and I said again, what are the rules? He said, well, there's no hitting in the face. I'm like, okay. So at that point, I'm determined to, make him feel some of the pain I was feeling. We lined back up. He went to throw another kick. I slapped that kick down, punched him right in the chin, knocked him out. My first sparring class. From there, I fell in love with it. I'm like, this is for me.
See, Jerry, I knew you was so dirty. I know you had it in you.
Dirty.
You look too much like Jack Lambert. I know you had it in you. Because I'm going to tell you this. My son was 3 years old at the time our last fight. He was 3 years old. and I remember fighting you. And I remember I did a back fist, and you can't score in the back, Ray. You can't hit in the back. But I did something, and I saw that reverse punch coming, so I tried to turn my back so he'll hold that reverse punch. This dirty sucker went on, hit me in my back, and I'm telling you, man, when he hit me in my back, I came over, and I was sitting there. My little son walked up to me and said, "Daddy, he hit you in the back." I said, "I know, I feel it."
Hit you in the back.
Well, he fell to the ground, and you fall on the ground, you're open season for about whatever you throw at you, you know.
Big Ray, did you see when you said during that video we just showed? Did you see where I tried a cartwheel kick, then I fell on the floor? Did you see how he would hit me in the back of the head? And what did you say?
He was getting you. You whooping your ass.
Looked like he whooping your ass at that time. I was getting my ass whooped. So Jared, let me ask you this right here. Who was some of your favorite opponents?
I'm sure they were the same people that you fought. Richard Plowden.
Yeah.
You know, we everybody in the karate world calls him the professor. Probably, he's arguably the most technical fighter that I fought. I fought him 6 different times. I never beat him. I was close, but never winning. You know, maybe if I had a bigger name or something, you know, I wasn't on any of those teams. Maybe I would have got a call or two, but you know, I give him all the respect in the world. Anthony Price was another one of my favorites to fight against. Obviously, I put you in my top 3. Then there was, you know, I fought them all. Gerald Dawson, Nasty Anderson, Billy. I never fought Billy Blanks, but anybody else that had been in the top, you know, top 10 for the last 20 years, Jerry Fontanez, Mike Smith, Derek Ponda, Steve Babcock.
Oh yeah.
All those guys.
Those are some legendary names.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, and I keep saying let me ask you something. This is my damn show. I ask you what I want to ask you.
Listen, your ass.
I know it, but he's in Cincinnati, and I'm in Atlanta.
I'm in
Cleveland to Atlanta.
I'm in Cleveland, not Cincinnati. Cleveland.
Okay.
You're a Cleveland guy. Okay,
yeah.
Go Browns.
So
I don't know about that, but
go ahead.
No,
I'm
Big
sorry.
Ray, you got something? No, that's Big Ray. You got something you want to add some, Big Ray?
No, he's back. I was just saying go Browns because he's in Cleveland, man.
Listen, what if you could go and start over right now? Not start over, but if you could fight in any other arena or a style of fighting, UFC, which one would it be?
I would have done, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I believe I could have done pretty decent in the UFC had I started when it started. I fought guys. Here's a guy for you, Pat Smith. Remember Pat Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Pat Smith won the Sabaki Challenge, which is a full contact, no pads, 5 or 6 years in a row. Pat Smith won. If he didn't win, he lost to Hoist Gracie in one of the first UFCs.
Yeah.
I fought Pat Smith at the Diamond Nationals and knocked him out in 5 seconds.
See, you know what?
It was luck. I mean, it was a lucky shot.
That was no luck, man. You know, people don't understand the kind of athlete we are in sport tournament fighting. How we got to move our feet, we got to move our hands. We get to do so many different things, and you practicing this every day. So when you get in a cage where people are limited to doing certain things, there's not enough space, we can move around these guys. And that's why I say you probably would, like you said, UFC.
What about you?
What about me?
What would you do?
What would you do?
I did all I needed to do. I kicked your ass.
But if you could start over, would you do UFC?
There's no money in UFC. I think I made the right path when I went in and started doing pro wrestling. Because you know the UFC, they came for me and Rick Rufus. But it was no money in it. They weren't making any money. These guys were fighting like crazy, man. It was Ken Shamrock why do you think those guys eventually came over to pro wrestling?
Yeah, sure.
Make some money.
Yeah. The tournament
that was
fighting.
a great move for you.
Yes, and tournament fighting was the best move, man, for all of us. Cause you could hit hard, Ray, but you couldn't full contact knock the guy out. That's what was strange.
But we did.
Yeah, you did.
I've seen you do a couple.
Yeah, but mine was late. That's why they called my nickname Dirty Red. I went to referee, said, stop. Bang. Oh, Dirty Red had knocked out the guy.
Yeah, I tried not to do that. I did that if they hit me first. I never started that. But if you were going to late hit me, it was game on.
So how do you teach?
All the rules went out the window.
So I assume you teach a lot of kids now, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
So how are you, what do you start with? Discipline, focus, fighting. What's the number one thing that you like to instill in your kids right away?
Self-confidence. Self-confidence. Because you know it's all about taking out the fear. If you've ever been in a fight, I'm sure you've been in a few of them. If you've ever been in a fight, it's a scary situation. You don't know what's going to happen. So I tell my parents all the time, all I want to do, I don't care if they ever get to be a world champion or anything like that. I want them to know that they can handle themselves and they don't have to be afraid to get hit. Every one of my students gets, a medicine ball in the stomach, gets the wind knocked out of them. But I tell the parents I would rather do it in the dojo controlled than out on the street, and you don't know any idea what's going to be going on. All of my fighters learn how to throw, number one, every great reverse punch, and everything else is secondary. The kicks are important, sure, but in a street fight, I don't want to be lifting my leg up past my waist. But,
just a front kick to keep them back and then keep going with them hands.
Front kick. You can throw a good nowadays. Everybody has fallen in love with that shin kick to the thigh. That's a good money move. So yeah, they learn those. But we do a lot of sparring in class, and I allow contact in my class. You get little kids get bloody noses. And tell you a funny story. My younger son, he was 4 years old. He's sparring in class, and he gets hit in the face. Nose starts, gushing a little bit. He falls on the ground. Dad, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna die? My brain juice, it's leaking out. My brain juice is leaking. And I said, you're not gonna die. Everybody gets the bloody nose. And all of a sudden he stops crying and says, what? I'm like, yeah, everybody gets bloody nose. He goes, you had them? I said, I've had hundreds of them. He's like, oh, okay. So he gets back in there. Another minute, he's moving around. He gets cut in half with a side kick. Wind knocked out of him, falls on the ground. I can't feel my legs. I'm paralyzed. I'm like, yeah, all right. Just breathe. Couple seconds, you'll feel better. So about 15, 20 seconds, he's sitting up against the wall. Okay, Dad, I'm ready. I'm going back in. So again, I try to get all my kids to go through that experience. It's painful, but they're not dying from it.
But when you go through moments like that with kids, they kind of grow with you. They grow on you. They remember with you picking them up after they just got hurt or they disappointed in something, and you picking them up and lifting them up and saying, listen, you can quit right now, or you can go in there and finish this last 30 seconds. And most of the time, they want to go in and finish, even if they don't finish strong. But what they never forget that you is somebody who is not responsible for them right there. You don't have to show that kindness to them.
Well, I do, because I feel that every student, I'm involved in watching their growth. I'm involved in developing them as a person.
Yeah.
So, I treat every kid that walks in my karate school like they're my own kids. I tell the parents, I'll yell when I need to. I'll put my arm on them if I need to. I'm going to treat them just like they're my own.
I got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris, who would win?
That's a good question. I'd put my money on Chuck.
And you and Chuck.
Here's a
watch what you say now, cause I got Chuck's phone number right here.
I'm going to.
I will call him and he'll come looking for you.
I'm going to give you this story. I fought in the Arnold Classic. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
I won that 4 years. I won that 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
When you win that, Arnold presents your award on stage with all the other winners. Well, the 1 year Chuck Norris was on stage also as a special guest. I had my 2 boys with me. I had just won. I had the belt, the championship belt they give you. And I was talking with Arnold, and all of a sudden I look around and my younger son is gone. And he was 4 years old. I asked my older son, I said, "Hey, Jared, where's Luke?" He said, "He's down there." And I looked down the stage, and there was my younger son standing there, and Chuck Norris was on his knee with his arm around my son. And he's laughing, and then all of a sudden he stands up and he brings my son down. He goes, "This your kid?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "I got a great kid there, Mr. Roberts." He said, I asked him who would win, me or your father. And he said, "My dad would beat your ass."
I love
it. Is that the one that's fighting now?
Yes, sir. That's the one.
Oh yeah. He was a beast. When I saw him at a tournament and I just watched him fight. Didn't he turn around? I was like, that guy pretty good. Big too. Didn't he turn around? He had on his back of his jersey, Robert, the Bullet. I said, wait a minute. Then they said, yeah, that Jared's something. Man, he's good too. Is he working with you guys in your karate school?
Oh yeah. He's captain of our team that travels around. He'll be fighting in the Arnold this year. I think he's doing an exhibition match down there. It should be a good time.
Are they still holding that at Mount Pilliard?
Nope. This is being it's at the convention center down there. It's in the convention center.
Where is it at what city now? If it's not Mount Pilliard?
It's in Columbus, right in downtown Columbus. Yep.
Okay. Columbus. All right.
Hey Jerry.
Yes,
since you beat me the last time, we got one more match.
Oh Lord.
One more match. Let's do it the old guys.
You said why?
Why? Why would I do that to myself?
Because I'm your good friend.
And that's why I don't feel the need to do that.
We both hey.
Whether we would fight again or not, I respect you as much as any martial artist that I know.
And you know,
it probably would be a fun time.
I feel the same way about you, brother. When I know you were coming on, I really wanted to have you on because all the respect, man, I have for you. And like I told Big Ray, I said, this guy he taught my little black ass a lesson.
And I was thankful for it, Jerry. He was. When I told him I finally lost one, he lost his mind. We got to bring him on. Yep. We got to bring him on.
I'm sure that you have the guys out there that claim to have beaten you and did this to you, did that to you.
Man, listen. Even when I lost the fight, I won. You know that, Jerry. Even when I lost a fight, Big Ray, the other guy was beat up so bad that they didn't look like the winner. Because with me, I fought tournament fighting the way my mom taught me how to fight. She said, somebody hit you, you hit them back, and you hit them hard.
You could tell the fighters that are like that. You're like that. There's several, not a lot of them, but several guys out there. You look at them afterwards and you think, man, that guy just beat my ass. Although I don't know if I felt that very many times. You're one of the few guys that I fought that I'm like, okay, I'll give it to him. He won by points and he beat me. But there's a lot of guys I lost to that I'm like, man, in a street fight, I would kick your ass.
I would beat him.
But listen, Jerry, I'm glad you came on, man. And
we appreciate having you for
really
sure.
Really appreciate having you, man. And let people know who's gonna be watching this, what they can maybe get into your program or do something.
You can go on my website. I have a website, newworldkarate.com. You can sign up there, get a free lesson. Come in, check us out. I got a 5,000 square foot facility. We've got matted floors, weight room. We've got it all.
That's great.
It's a good place to grow.
New World Karate? Is that what it is?
Sir.
Newworldkarate.com?
Newworldkarate.com.
Awesome.
can you do me a favor then?
Yes,
if
sir.
anybody come into your school and say, we saw you on the Cat's Corner podcast, give them a little discount. Give them $1 or $2 off.
20%
off.
I'm
for
going
that $20 ass whooping you give the cat.
20% off. I'm going to offer.
Okay.
Anybody watching this podcast, if they come in, I'll give them 20% off.
All right.
And guess what? The cat may show up one night. We may work out something where the cat come in and work out with you guys.
There we go.
I'll be up there to work out with you, man. Hey, Jerry.
Well, love it, brother.
Thanks for coming, man. And
appreciate you.
We'll be talking to you soon, brother.
All right. Nice meeting you, Ray.
You too, Jerry. Thank you very much for beating the cat's ass.